stories that prove Larry Bird is better than Michael Jordan. Let's get into it.
NBA Hall of Famer James Worthy, who played against both Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, said, "I'd much rather play against Michael Jordan than Larry Bird. Jordan made you look slow, but Bird made you look stupid. Look, I'm not here to convince you that Larry Bird is better than Michael Jordan. I'll just present to you the facts and let the NBA legends who actually played against both of them tell you what they think."
People always...
Before we get into this, I always start off my video. I know we all love basketball. That's why we all family in the comments now. If you've been watching, write family. If you new family, write new family. Let me know who are your favorite NBA legends, number one. And are you a Larry Bird fan or a Jordan fan? Let me know in the comments.
He's asked me who's the hardest player I've ever had to guard. And there was Michael Jordan, George Gervin, the late, great Mike Mitchell. I mean, so many players. I always say Larry Bird, and I say this for the reason because when Michael passed the basketball, he kind of hung on his shorts and he sit off to the side. With Larry, when he passed the basketball is when he became more dangerous. He was either setting a pick, coming off a pick, catching the ball, passing the ball. So he was the one you always had to stay attentive to the whole 24 seconds of that offensive play for the Celtics. And you know what? Oh, he's going to get an offensive rebound. He was going to do something to help his team have the best chance of scoring at that point. So I always say as him, he didn't need the basketball to affect the game.
To the untrained eye, Michael Jordan was light years better than Larry Bird simply because his scoring numbers were better.
I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I'm going to say a cultural difference real quick, okay? Culturally, I think growing up, you know, watching basketball, Michael Jordan would have been somebody that was pushed more onto me. Larry Bird, I'm not saying he wasn't pushed onto me, but I'm just saying growing up, Michael Jordan was. Recently, Larry Bird has become like one of the top three, maybe even top four.
But in actuality, it was much closer than that because Bird affected the game in so many ways.
I saw Larry Bird one night in Phoenix. They were losing big time at the half. And they come out in the third quarter, and Larry did not take a shot, but dominated the game. He had 7 assists in the third quarter, and they came back and won the game. He could affect the game without taking a shot. Who else can you say that about to that degree? Nobody. Michael could never do that. Never. Michael had to have the ball.
Hold on, bro. Now y'all sleeping on Mike, and I know this convo gonna get real deep in the comments. Hold on, don't sleep on my boy Mike now. Let's not sleep on Mike. I'm definitely believing in this Larry Bird wave, but let's not sleep on Mike.
1986 magazine on the NBA. And remember, this is a league with Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Charles Barkley, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, and Dr. J. And in a league with all of these all-time great players, everyone agreed that Larry Bird was the best because in 1984, 1985, and 1986, Larry Bird won MVP back to back to back. And in the 1986
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know that. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. If you knew this beforehand, cool. But if you didn't know it, it's okay. But I did not, hand to God, I did not know he got an 84, 85, 86.
Larry Bird finally faced Michael Jordan head to head. And in game 1, Michael dropped a spectacular 49 points. But Larry Bird had an all-around game with 30 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals to lead the Celtics to a victory. By game 2, MJ had a revelation.
And this is game 2 of the best-of-5 first-round action, and the Celtics will try to make it 2 in a row over the Bulls.
We really have to play a complete basketball game. I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics.
Nah.
I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics.
But he sure
not with Larry over there.
Because Jordan turned on God mode and broke the record for the most points ever scored in a playoff game.
Lead in the first half of the game against the Celtics Thursday. Jordan trying to fake Bird, can't do it.
Oh.
Hits the jumper.
Wow.
Bird played pretty well defensively against Jordan.
I know we started Dennis Johnson out on him, and then we went with Danny Ainge, myself, then Bill Walton, and we was trying to run him to help all the time, but he had his outside shot going so well that he really didn't need to penetrate that much.
Jordan hits 56 for Jordan.
And that's
and
the
that
GOAT.
ties the Chicago Bulls all-time leader. Jordan with 8 on the clock. Jordan ties the game.
Oh, boy.
63 points, and you're looking at
Wow.
an all-time record.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Jordan.
But it was an incredible playoff performance. I've never seen it before, and I had never seen it after. That wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
But Larry Bird left with the most important statistic of all, the W.
10 on the clock. Bird, pick and roll pass.
Wow. Yeah. A win is a win.
Victory for the Boston Celtics to take a 2-0 lead over Chicago in their best of 5.
Wow.
Michael Jordan didn't beat Larry Bird. You showed Michael Jordan going between his legs one time in the highlights, against Larry Bird. And that was the game he got 63.
That's when he dropped 63 on Bird. Yeah.
But if memory serves me correct, they got swept. No, not lost. They got swept. Okay?
Wow.
That's true.
Even though he dropped 63, we stepped all in his ass, did we not? I rest my case.
Larry Bird.
See, I didn't know that he got swept. I do know that Jordan lost in the 89 finals against the Pistons, right? I got that content on the page too. So, you got to know your facts. If you're a victim of not knowing the facts, write victim in the comments because I am a victim. So knowing this stuff is, we get into a good point here. We got a good argument.
And the following year, when Larry faced MJ in the playoffs, it happened again.
Side. Larry Bird against Banks, rubs him around a Perry screen, drives it down the lane, and
wow.
lays it in with a right hand. Michael Jordan with 30 points in this game, so he was 30 or better in all 3 playoff games. Bird's got 31 in the game and 14 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Bullseye. Boston has kept it in good hands in the fourth quarter. It's been Bird, and that's about it. Final score in Chicago Stadium. The Boston Celtics sweep the Bulls out.
Only in classic basketball could you see blood on the jerseys, man. Shout out to 80s and 90s basketball, man. I want to know what y'all fan of, the 80s or the 90s basketball.
5-94. Too much Celtic talent, too much Celtic experience for a Bulls team lacking in both areas.
Yes, Larry Bird in back-to-back years swept Michael Jordan in the playoffs.
I never knew this.
So if Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but Michael Jordan never beat Larry Bird, then what does that make Larry Bird?
This is crazy.
Fair, at that point, Michael Jordan didn't have his best teammate ever, Scottie Pippen, yet.
Yes, sir.
When Scottie Pippen arrived, the battles...
Hold on. When I mentioned this on the video, I said, Jordan would have never been Jordan without Scottie Pippen. It was a big argument in the comments. What is your view on that? I feel like Jordan is not Jordan without Pippen. He needed Pippen. He needed Pippen for a ring.
Closer and more intense. And later in the video, I'll let you see exactly what happened when Larry Bird faced a prime Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Because Larry Bird did something so miraculously impressive, no other man in the history of basketball can say they've done. But after Bird swept Jordan back-to-back years in the playoffs, that very next year in 1988, Michael Jordan had statistically the best season ever. Where he won the scoring title at 35 points per game, the steals title, the MVP, the defensive player of the year, the all-star game MVP, and the dunk contest.
Oh my God.
He faced Larry Bird 4 times that year. And this is how it went. Game 1, tough battle. Bird wins. Game 2, MJ has a historic 50-point game to win by 10. Game 3, Larry's revenge. After that previous loss, I'm sure Larry Bird had that rematch circled on his calendar.
Facts.
Because he ended up with 33, 8, and 7
Wow.
and blew MJ out by 30 points.
This is
Game
crazy,
4,
bro.
MJ had an impressive performance with 39 points and 8 assists. But Larry Legend had 44 points and 10 rebounds. But most importantly, a win versus Michael Jordan in his statistically best season ever.
Wow.
And though Michael Jordan didn't face Bird again that year in the playoffs, Jordan did face Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons. And I'll let Isaiah Thomas tell you exactly how he
they
recalls
beat him
that
down.
year.
The Jordan
and the rest
effect.
of the 80s.
The Jordan
Michael
effect.
Jordan in the 80s, the best year that he had was he was the MVP of the league and the Defensive Player of the Year. I believe that was in 88.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We
88.
beat them 4-1. I'm gonna say that again. 4-1. They won one
May I
game,
respond?
Stephen A. And he never beat Larry Bird.
Wow.
He never beat Magic and Kareem.
Wow.
He never won. And all I'm saying is in the 80s, what I remember in the 80s, it was Philadelphia with Dr. J, Magic, Kareem, Bert, Michael Jordan. He was a non-factor.
A non-factor.
Wow. Isaiah Thomas talking big, yo. They talking big about my boy. They talking crazy about my
After
boy.
Isaiah Thomas swept MJ, he
89.
did go on to beat Larry Bird in 6 games.
Wow.
And many people touted the Detroit defense for holding Larry Bird to under 20 points per game. But what many don't include in that story is that Larry Bird was noticeably injured with painful bone spurs in both feet.
Wow.
So only because of injuries, for the first time in 5 seasons, Larry Bird would not make the NBA Finals. Starting the following year, Larry Bird had season-ending surgery on both feet after playing only 6 games. But sadly, it only got worse because that following offseason, Larry Bird broke his back and was never the same again.
Wow.
But even as Larry Bird's entire body betrayed him, for some reason, he always played well against Michael Jordan. Almost like he had a personal vendetta against Jordan. And I think I know why. When Michael Jordan was in college, he actually played an exhibition game against Larry Bird. Jordan and a bunch of college players, while preparing for the 1984 Olympics, faced Larry Bird and a bunch of NBA stars. The goal was to toughen the college kids up before they headed to the Olympics. So during pre-game warm-ups, when Jordan chased the loose ball to the other end of the court, Larry Bird picked the ball up. But instead of handing it to Jordan, Bird kicked the ball over Jordan's head to the opposite end of the court. And I guess you could say Michael Jordan took that personally.
That's crazy.
Now look at my shit. Really? Oh, so that's how you're going to play it. You going to do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
Michael Jordan dominated that game.
You know Larry Bird, the best trash talker
Michael Jordan
ever.
actually carried a team full of college players past a prime Larry Bird and a bunch of NBA players. Michael Jordan won the battle, but Larry Bird won the war. I think Larry Bird took that loss personally.
Yo, I never
never
even seen Larry Bird with that much fear on his face.
really got
boy.
the best of Larry Bird ever again. When Larry Bird finally returned to the court after missing basically an entire season with foot surgery and a back injury, he faced prime Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in a regular season game. The teams went back and forth.
Bagley against Paxson, 10 on the shot clock. Jordan on Bird. Quick feed and Paxson for the layup.
That was nice.
Larry Bird has KO the read. Jordan the steal. Scottie Pippen ahead to Jordan. Michael for the dunk.
Nice.
Bird against Pippen. Bird working on Pippen one-on-one. Hits the fadeaway.
And with 10 seconds to go, it was a tie game. The Celtics had the ball, and the Bulls put their 2 best defenders, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, both on Larry Bird, because everyone knows who the ball is going to. And then this happened.
Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Inside of 10 seconds. Bird low. You can't double yet. Now you can quickly. Bird's jumper. Good.
Woo! I never seen this. We got. Hey man, if y'all want to watch that game, just say game in the comments, and we'll definitely react to that.
Everybody in this building
crazy.
had to know it was going on. Michael came over to help out. Celtics lead with 3.6 seconds here, 102 to 100.
A game-winning shot while being double-teamed by both Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
That's crazy.
Two of the best defenders of all time. Somehow the word clutch doesn't even begin to describe the greatness of Larry Bird when the game was on the line. But maybe a quote from NBA Hall of Fame coach, executive, and former player Pat Riley can explain. In an interview, when comparing Larry Bird and Michael Jordan's clutchness, Pat Riley said this iconic quote, "If I had to choose a player to take a shot to save a game, I'd choose Michael Jordan.
Wow.
If I had to choose a player to take a shot to save my life, I'd take Larry Bird."
Wow, that's deep.
As Larry Bird was on his last legs and Michael Jordan was starting his dynasty in 1991, Larry Bird mustered up enough strength to battle MJ again in one of the last great duels between the two.
Gamble came up with the steal.
Here's Bird. Yes. He was met on a switch by Jordan, and there 69, Chicago 67. Jordan eluding a triple team.
Wow.
Reggie Lewis. Larry Bird.
Wow.
This battle between two all-time greats
Yeah, this is
came
crazy.
down to the wire. In overtime, it was a tie game with 0.4 seconds on the clock, and the Chicago Bulls had the ball.
Pippen now will look to throw in. 0.4 of a second. And here it is, Jordan with the play. Yes!
Oh.
But it's waved off. Will not count.
Oh, they waved it off.
No, did not beat the clock.
Yo, I never knew about this right
He
here.
almost had it.
Wow.
After Jordan's possible game winner was waved off, Larry Bird, on 4 straight possessions in double overtime, did this.
Jordan.
It's great to hear all these coaches talk about they're really concerned as Bird.
Wow.
They're really concerned about
That's
the minutes
crazy.
coming up. They want to be fresh going into the playoffs until the game.
Larry.
Bird.
Watch out, Grant. Watch out, Grant.
Larry Bird.
Watch out, Grant.
To go in the second overtime. Bird with the fake through the
oh! That was hard. That was hard.
45 to go in the second overtime.
Oh, you already know. Horace Grant shouldn't even been on that boy. Horace Grant, you need to get away from my boy Larry, man. Get away from Larry, man.
The name of the greatest player of all time.
That's
Shook
crazy.
his head and said, "This guy's too much."
And the chant of Larry.
Wow. Yo. Was anybody here at this game? If you were, tell me the energy in the building. Wow, that was nice. That was nice. That was nice.
The second overtime, and that will do it.
Wow.
The Boston Celtics in double overtime have defeated the Chicago Bulls 135 to 132.
It's crazy.
The Celtics held on to win that game, but that year, Michael Jordan won his first championship versus Magic Johnson in the finals, and his dynasty had officially begun.
Larry and I were talking, and Michael walks in, and he says, "There's a new sheriff in town."
Shout out to the
and
GOAT,
we both
Mike,
hit each
man.
other like, well, he's not lying.
Larry Bird retired after that next season, but not before he took the court with Michael Jordan one last time. time. Except this time, it would be on the same team in what many would call...
Imagine Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and Larry Bird on the same team. What?
Greatest team ever assembled.
Yeah, that was
the
it. Ewan,
1992
Robinson
Dream
over
Team.
there. Everybody was over there, bro.
And rebounded by Jordan. Perez may have realized that may be his best opportunity to get an open look in transition.
Magic with the pass that misfired. Jordan with the behind the back save. Here's Bird.
Wow, that's crazy.
And you just knew that Larry Bird was not going to miss that shot after the great save by Michael Jordan.
That's crazy.
Glad I hear that you're retiring. Thank goodness. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. Brought a lot of sad memories to me, but I enjoyed you tremendously. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think you had a very wonderful career, even though you probably ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics.
That's deep. See, what I respect about it is the respect for the game and the love of basketball. You know what I mean? Like, these legends could, I love how they talk about each other. I love how everybody speaks with respect on Larry Bird. Me being a Jordan fan, this definitely changed my perspective a little bit, and just confirms that Larry Bird is definitely in my top 3. You know what I mean? I think we all know that there's only 3 legends, and then we just kind of cipher between those 3. Guys, I have a lot of reactions on this channel that you might enjoy. Please take a chance out to go look at one of these videos, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the top bell so we can get to 1 million. I'm out of here.